Welcome to the Mind Your Wedding Business podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Dennis. In addition to leading the charge at Wedding IQ, I also run Fantasy Sound Event Services, a lighting and entertainment company based in Livermore, California, that I founded over 30 years ago. Each week on this podcast, you'll hear thought-provoking and empowering interviews with wedding professionals who have found success in the industry. If you're a business-minded wedding pro who loves love, but also cares about their bottom line, buckle up and get ready to learn from a new industry expert each week. All right, folks, welcome to another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business, and we're here with the one and only Heidi Thompson here today. So, Heidi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So, as Kevin said, my name is Heidi Thompson. I work with all sorts of different types of wedding professionals to help them make their marketing easier, book more weddings with clients they really want to be working with, and build a business that gives them freedom and flexibility. I've been doing that for the past 13 years with my business, which is called Evolve Your Wedding Business.
I was going to ask how long you've been doing it. So you already answered one of the questions already. All right. So Heidi, the Book More Wedding Summit is about to go live next week, I believe. So first, can you tell us a little bit about what's in store for this year's summit?
Yeah. So this year, I really wanted to make sure that we take a special focus on what's happening right now, what's working right now, because a lot of things are tried and true and evergreen, but there are a lot of things happening, in the world, in the market right now. So I wanted to make sure that people attending were seeing that, it's not just them, it's everybody that's experiencing some big shifts, and walk away with some really practical things that they can do in order to book more of the clients they love working with.
I love you that you said it's not just them, because I'm in the Northern California area, and we all of a sudden everyone's been slow in the month of July, and so we're ready to turn that calendar the next page, but it was like we all felt better because it's not just one person, it was everyone as a whole. And so even though it's not a good thing, it was a comforting thing, because it was like it's not us. So anyway, all right, so the summit, how long have you been doing the summit? It's been around for a while, I believe.
Yeah, the first one I hosted in the beginning of 2020. So I've been doing it for about 5 years now. And I alternate between Book More Wedding Summit, which addresses the number one question people come to me with: how do I book more weddings? And all things, marketing and sales and pricing. And then I also have Wedding Business CEO Summit, which I do typically in January or February. And that's everything that happens after that. So learning how to run your business like the CEO that you are and not get completely buried under everything that you can be doing.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So everything's online. So tell the listeners, take us through the process of how the summit works.
Yeah, so you can get your free ticket and use Kevin's link to do that. I'm sure he'll provide it.
Yeah.
But you can go grab your free ticket. Your free ticket gives you access to each day's presentations for 24 hours. So you can watch them at any point during that 24-hour period. They're all on demand, so you don't have to be in a particular place at a particular time to watch them. And then we have 2 different upgrade options. If you want to get lifetime access to all the presentations and you want to get more than $4,000 worth of bonuses from our speakers and myself, you can grab one of those upgrades. But you can also attend totally free. And we have thousands of wedding pros that attend each of these from all over the world, all different types of wedding pros too. And I feel like every time I host one, I discover a new type of business that someone is running, something interesting and new and unique.
I love that. Like, just for this year, what was kind of interesting and new that you discovered?
I've noticed a lot of content creators, but a lot of content creators getting like really specific and content creators also working on behalf of the wedding pros, which I thought was really interesting and a really good way to get solid content for yourself.
Was it Sheena by chance?
May
Or
have been.
no?
There were a
Okay,
lot.
okay, because I just had Sheena, in here, or on the podcast not that long ago, and it was I never in a million years would think of hiring a content creator just to follow me around
Yeah.
and to show how basically, like, the sausage is made and of a wedding and go through that, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's
So,
so valuable.
yeah. So, as you put together your speakers, what are we excited about this year?
So I wanted to approach this from multiple different angles. So there are 5 different tracks of presentations. So we have one about what's different about booking in 2025.
Mhm.
We have one about getting found and getting referred.
Oh,
We have one about standing out and getting
okay.
booked. One about high paying clients and getting a steady income, and one about the systems that save you, because it's all good and well if we book these weddings, but if you don't have, automations and systems in place, you're going to be working around the clock. You're going to, not be able to give as amazing as a client experience as you could if you had some of those things in place. So everything really falls under the umbrella of booking more weddings, but whether that's through getting more referrals, whether that's through running ads, or how Gen Z is buying, or standing out using a niche brand. We have a lot of different ways that we're coming at this from the
Okay.
perspective of, 46 different experts in the industry. It's not just, me and topics I like to talk about. It's, topics that I'm super curious about too, that I can bring other people like yourself in to talk about.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I'm really looking forward. I mean, it's all like we had to record it and do everything ahead of time, but it was. It's really fun because I think it's a different approach because it helps people. Your conference, instead of having to get on an airplane, go somewhere, and you hope that you walk away with a nugget. Like I always feel like if we walk away with one or two nuggets, then it's going to be successful. But I think you've set it up to where people are going to walk away with multiple nuggets of information, and like it'll be and they can all do it from right at their pajamas and from the laptop on the comfy couch without having to get on an airplane and spend all that money to go do all that. So I really think you've created something that's really unique and different.
Well,
So
thank you. Yeah. And I
yeah.
really like that it is so accessible. We get people joining from all over the world because it is accessible. And that accessibility extends into the speakers. So we have a Facebook group where people can come and ask the speakers questions. So if you need further clarification, like, Kevin speaking about reigning with referrals, if you're like, "Oh, okay, I really like that strategy you talked about in your talk about referrals, but how might I apply that as a photographer?" You can come and do that in the group and actually get, responses to the questions that you have, so you can leave and take immediate action.
Yeah, and that's really helpful, I think, for the folks to have that access as well. That makes all of us speakers more approachable. I feel like sometimes you'll speak at a conference and people are afraid to come up and talk to you, or like I'm just a normal wedding pro, just like you, just trying to make it in this industry and just happen to want to share what I know. So but come ask. I think all the speakers want to be asked questions and want to help because I think all of us are doing it with the premise to raise the wedding industry as a whole. Like we want to raise the bar because I feel like sometimes we get that bad rap out there in the public world that oh when people hear weddings we okay, instead of $500 it's now 1,000. Like that bad perceived notion out there. No, it's the same price whether it's a wedding or whether it's a corporate event or whatever it is. It's going to
Yeah,
cost the same.
absolutely. And I mean, to that point, I think, people are at a point right now where they are distrustful of, I would say, of the wedding industry, but kind of just businesses on the whole, because everyone has heard some sort of, horror story, has read
Uh-huh.
some sort of experience. So that's something we're addressing, is making sure that you are building that trust. And there are a lot of things you can do, as you'll see in the summit. Like, there are a lot of direct and specific actions that you can take.
I love it. All right, from an education side, since the last time you've done the summit, is there a lot of changes that like as far as topics and all that?
I feel like the situation has necessitated a change. So I've definitely seen, timelines have shifted. People are taking longer to make decisions. I've seen, 30 to 40% longer. So our strategies have to adapt to keep up with that, whether that's, your follow up strategy, your marketing strategy. It has to adapt. And we're also having to adapt to a new generation of client all at the same time, in
Um,
addition to, economic disruptions and just general hesitation in the market. Plus, there's AI.
mhm.
So that is something that we'll be covering and that you need to be aware of and know how to use to your benefit.
Yeah, it's funny you say you brought up the AI thing because I'm sure you know Leah Weinberg, but Leah Weinberg is a not wedding pro educator, and I am too. And they have us on these like monthly calls, and they were kind of trying to get the finger of the pulse of what's going on out there in the world. And L- Leah brought up that her clients are starting to get uh, their clients are starting to weaponize good old chat GPT to get refunds, and it's like a trend going on in the wedding industry right now. So it's probably very important for folks out there to come and attend these things to learn all this. What how are they using AI? What are like I think that's going to be very beneficial to all these business owners out there to really understand what to do when it comes to these situations, because I think we're going to get hit with situations that we've never seen before.
Absolutely. And then even on like your own work side, being able to use it to improve your workflows, improve the client experience that you're giving. There's just so much in flux right now. I feel like more than ever we really need a touch point to be like, okay, what's going on and what are we supposed to be doing right now?
I love it. All right. So I mean, we're a week away. More prep, or where are we? I mean, where are you on the stress level? I guess is a good question to ask.
Most of my prep work is done.
Okay.
So I'm
You're
very happy about that. I am in promotion mode, making sure everybody that wants to come knows about it and knows that they can get a free ticket. We're finalizing some tech things in the background, but generally speaking, we're good to go.
now. Do you like celebrate with a glass of champagne when you when you hit the button when it's go time?
I celebrate by taking the whole week off afterward.
Oh, do you really? Good for you. Is there a lot of work for you during the week of the conference, or just more on the promotion side and kicking
It's a
in?
lot of being on for
Okay.
me. It's a lot of, being on camera. It's a lot of talking to people. It's a lot of like very heavy communication and
Okay.
making sure, support's okay, making sure everyone's all right, engaging in the group. So it's a very heavy, like social week for sure.
And how do you handle that? He seems a little stressed about
I
it.
do nothing but that. I get a lot of takeout and I sleep.
There you go. I love it. And the conference runs all week long, or forgive me, I'm a person, I should know this, but it's several days, right? If I remember
Yeah, it
correctly.
runs all week. It runs from the 18th through the 22nd.
Yeah, I thought it was several days. So,
Yeah.
and I love that you unload a certain amount every day, and that's the best part about it. So,
Yeah, and then that way, you have a set amount, you can focus on set topics and like prioritize which ones are going to make sense for you right now. Whether you stick with the free ticket, if you get an upgrade, you still really need to prioritize like which ones are you going to dig into right now, which ones do you
yeah.
want to ask the speakers about and get further clarification on. So, Yeah, it's a really good opportunity to I talk about, like, treating it like a buffet, pick the
Oh,
things you want, pick the things you need. That's gonna be different for everybody. So, don't
that's a
feel like
good way of looking. I've never in a million years, but that's a great way of looking at it. Like, someone might want to get more information like about AI right now, and they're going to go and be AI focused. Yeah,
yeah, or they're like, "I've
yeah,
been really meaning to, like, ramp up my referral strategy," or, "I've
yeah,
been really wanting to work on, my Instagram game." Like, that way you can focus on what's gonna make the most sense for you because the purpose of these, and they're all very action focused, is for you to watch them and be able to go take very specific actions that are gonna make an impact in your business.
yeah. I think that's what I think is most impactful, and it's a lot of people. I think too go to these conferences and then come home and don't do anything. So I
Oh, yeah,
think,
it's a notebook full of notes that,
yeah,
like, you'll
that
get
just
around to someday.
in the abyss there, and if they actually cracked open that notebook, they probably would make a few more. They could stop complaining about all the things that they complain about on a regular basis. So, all right, we kind of went through it all. What am I missing that we didn't cover for the summit?
A lot of people ask me, is this something that is only designed for wedding planners? And
Oh,
I get this question every single time.
do you really?
So much so it's on the registration page because it is such a common question. And I want people to know it is not just for wedding planners. Wedding planners can absolutely benefit, but so can DJs and caterers and live wedding painters and dance instructors. Basically, if you work in the world of weddings, you're going to get a lot out of this that you'll be able to implement. It's very, agnostic of what type of wedding business you run. There is going to be a way to apply everything that we are covering to your business, regardless if you're, a DJ or a florist or a photographer. And we have, you know, everyone you can imagine in the
Represent.
spectrum of wedding
Yeah.
vendors attend and get a ton out of it. So it's not limited to the scope of, only planners are going to be able to implement this or even only the US based businesses. I get that
Oh,
question
yeah.
too.
Okay.
Will be able to implement it because we do have a worldwide audience. We have a worldwide attendee base, and we've had people on all 6 inhabited continents be able to go and implement and get results from things that they've learned at the summits.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny. I would have never in a million years thought that it was just for planners. So I wonder if you have a lot of planners out there that promote it. I'm like, where did that
Yeah,
come from?
I
Like,
think I think there's a lot of education out there that is just for planners or that is skewed heavily
yeah,
toward planners and a lot of examples. Like I even tell speakers in the prep, like when you're using examples,
don't use
don't
planners.
just use
Yeah,
planners because we
I'm just
want
like,
people to feel included.
yeah, and I when I did mine, it was about everyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, and I do that when I speak normally. I encompass. I usually pick on photographers. I'll be honest with you, because all my bad stories at weddings are always been a photographer done some naughty something along the way. So I'm always like, don't be like ABC photography. You want to be make people smile and go
Yeah.
crazy. So
So if
now,
you're thinking like I won't be able to get something out of this, like I dare you
yeah,
to
I
come
love
and
that. I love the
don't
dare.
like you
Well,
will get something out of it. You will get something you can implement. I get stuff I can implement in my own business. Like I come back to it after the summit when I've had time to, breathe as a student to learn
yeah,
from people like you. Like, okay, what can I do better in these other areas of my business?
yeah, I love it. Well, and that's it. It always cracks me up when people have that attitude. Oh, I've been doing this for 10 years, 20 years, 30, whatever name the years. I don't. What else am I going to learn? And I think it's those people that are naive because like you said, our clients are forever changing and we're forever staying the same age. But like the way we communicate with people have changed. The way we sell to people is changing. Just in all of that is just changing, and I had Brittany Branson on recording with me before, and that's one of the things she was talking about too, is like that people want to hire, she's a live painter, but people, instead of hiring a live painter, they want to hire Brittany. And it's more like the person becoming the brand
Yeah.
as and that's where people I think are naive when they just put on the blinders and just do the same thing over and over again. I bet you they're going to be their business is going to go way down because what we did last year is not going to work 3, 4 years from now.
Yeah, and I think, things change constantly, but I would say in the last year, I've seen more change than any single year I have been in this business. Partially because, like, the world and politics and economy and, people's financial situations. But then we're also in a position where we are on a generational shift where
Yeah.
many of our clients are becoming more and more and more Gen Z. Gen Z grew up in a different atmosphere. They expect different things. They buy in different ways. They shop in different ways. So we have to understand that if we want them to choose us. And then I've been talking about this a lot lately. I think, the wedding industry on the whole is, not even 100 years old as a modern industry.
Hmm.
And I think we are reaching a point of maturity where it is really not enough anymore to be a photographer, a DJ, a
Hmm.
venue, an officiant. You need to position yourself as the go-to person for someone specific. And the people that I work with that do that crush it, because the good thing about all these changes is most of your competitors aren't keeping up. So if
No.
you even like get 20% ahead of them, you are going to be so much further ahead and in a much better position.
And I was at a conference. I was just at the NACE Experience conference, and one of the speakers said, "Adapt or die." Is
Oh yeah.
basically, yeah. And I was like, and you couldn't have made it more simple than that. Is if you're not adapting, you're going to be, your business is going to die. It's going to go away. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is really an interesting time for all of us in the wedding industry.
It
So
is, and I think, sometimes I feel scary, but as you'll see during the summit, there is also so much opportunity out there that is really exciting and invigorating to see, how you can improve and shift and put yourself in a much better position going into, 2026.
yeah, I love that. All right, I think we got through everything. I think one, I think people got to get ready and they got to open their mind and get ready to learn because it's all going down next week. Unless you buy the ticket, and then you can learn it a little bit more as you go. I think it's important to get the ticket personally because it's that's the benefit that I think your conference has or the summit has than other conferences is like you can't when you're sitting there at whatever the conference is, you can't go back and hit rewind and hear it all over again. And I think there's something about that is where it's like, wait, what did they say? Or like, how do I dissect this down a little bit more? And I think that's a cool thing about hitting pause, scroll back, and then you can go back and listen to it. Or you heard a speaker and then you can go back and then go, hey, a week from now, I want to show this to my whole staff or what, like
Yeah.
there's ways that you can like really I want my team to understand this part or all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of power in what you're doing because I think the conferences are going to eventually, you're ahead of the curve is I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I love in-person events just as much as anybody else, but,
Yeah.
like, it can just be so much, and
Yeah.
it's so much to take in all at once, and if you can, spread it out for yourself, like, with recordings and be strategic about how you're doing it, like, say, for example, in my business, I know I wanna work on my SEO. I'm not doing that right now, I'm doing the summit right now, but like a month or 2 ago, I enrolled in a program for the fall where I'm gonna be focusing on
On your
SEO. Like, if
SEO.
you can parse out those areas that you wanna focus on and improve and don't feel like, "Oh, I gotta get through all this." Like, no, it's okay. You can come back to this and, review it if, right now you are not really focused on social media, skip those for now. Come back
Yeah.
to them in a couple months when you are more focused on social media.
No, and that'll be the benefit of having the paid ticket. You'll be able to
Yeah.
do that for sure. The other it was funny because that's what's I think people get overwhelmed. When you said
Mhm.
that, I totally thought of there was a speaker. I was at one of the conferences, and the speaker said, the objective is to paint the house. So let's start with a wall, and then like today we can get that wall done. And then, then maybe another day we work and continue. And before you know it, we have the whole house painted. And I was like, that analogy was really because that's what happens to us. We get
Yeah.
busy with the weddings and we stop doing what we should be doing to book more weddings and get more clients. But if we chunk it out and hey, this week I can spend an hour here, I'm going to schedule this an hour down the road, and then you can actually implement all these wonderful things you're learning and put it to work. And
And it
you
doesn't sound like much, but like
know,
an hour of dedicated focus every week for,
is
a year, like that is life changing.
and that's it's amazing because people don't realize that because we started doing that here internally at our company is just having a on the books. This is our staff day. We don't change appointments for this, and we sit down for an hour and a half as a group, and like we have grown so much from just communicating with each other and having this meeting. But even if you had to work on a project, that little, like you said, that little nugget, you keep chipping away. Don't try to achieve it all at once, but just continue to work on it, and before you know, you're going to have something better than if you tried to get it all done and stress yourself out trying to do it all at one time.
Yeah, and it's much easier on your nervous system, right?
I love it. All right, Heidi. As we wrap up, I always like to ask my guests about an app or some kind of piece of tech that you're using now that might help our other folks in their wedding business.
I'm pretty obsessed with ChatGPT, but
Oh,
the way I've been using it specifically on my phone is through voice, like just speaking to it.
oh,
So if it's like I have this idea and I just need to talk this through, getting it out that way has been really, really helpful. And then, it can feed back to me like, okay, it sounds like here's what you want to do. Here's how we can break that up. Here's how we can, I treat it very much as, yes, an AI that can do things for me, but also as a sounding board.
would never have thought to use it that way. So that's an amazing way to do it. Now, two things. Have you named your Chat GPT?
I haven't. I just call it
Okay,
chat.
okay, and then do you say please and thank you?
Of course. When the robot uprising happens, I want them to remember that I was nice.
I love because that's the side of the war I want to be on when it goes on. They're going to remember that the nice people that were
Yeah.
nice to them. I agree. That's my little bad joke for Chat GPT, but I do say please and thank you. So
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's your little buddy.
that's right. All right, Heidi. We're going to have all the information in the show notes, but how can someone get in contact with you?
So you can find me over at evolveyourweddingbusiness.com. I have a podcast by the same name. And if you want to reach out to me directly, Instagram is always a good way to do that. My DMs are always open for a good conversation. Of course, Evolve Your Wedding Business over there. So feel free to reach out.
All right, perfect. All right, and Heidi we'll have all the conference information in the show notes, and we'll get it all out and get it all promoted to everyone. And then I hope you a successful and stress free conference. And then the week after, I hope you enjoy and get a good rest because it
Yeah,
sounds
so
like
I'll be resting, I'll be
yeah,
hanging out poolside
yeah.
somewhere. So yeah, it'll be nice. I'm looking
Good
forward to
good for
it.
you, and probably well deserved because it's so
Yeah.
stressful. I think it's as being a planner of anything, it's so stressful holding and making sure all the pieces are there. So it's very stressful. I don't envy you right now. So
But it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
all right, I love it. All right, folks, we want you to go and we want you to go to Book More Wedding Summit next week. And we want you to guys be educated. And that way, as a wedding industry, we're going to rise up. So when the robots come get us, they're going to know we're the good guys. So anyway, all right, folks, thank you for listening to another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business. We'll see you again next week. Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business, brought to you by Wedding IQ. If you've got a topic you'd love to hear us cover, or if there's an area of your business you're struggling with, let us know and we'd be happy to help. Don't forget to check out our other episodes on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're a fan, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and left a review. It helps more wedding pros find us and learn more from our guests too. Thanks again for listening to Mind Your Wedding Business. We'll catch you next time.